If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again, and welcome to episode number 13 of season number 2 here at West Ham United. We start with a game in the Capital One Cup in the quarter-finals against Crystal Palace. We follow that up with games against Cardiff and Newcastle, hoping to get ourselves back up towards the top 4 in the table, maybe even close the gap to the top 3, who are creating a little bit of a gap, the two Manchester sides and Arsenal, but hopefully today we can progress in the Capital One Cup as well and get ourselves through to the semi-finals. It looks like it's going to be a busy January if we do. As you can tell, it's already a very busy December, and if we do get through, there will be 2 extra Capital One Cup games in January as well. So could be a busy month, not only with games, but with transfers too, as that's just around the corner, and we'll be having a look at a few transfer targets in tomorrow's episode. Today, they will be concentrating on the 3 games we have. I'll be playing a couple of the youngsters and the youth players in the Capital One Cup to give them some first-team game time. So players like Archibald Henville and Guerrero and Madrazo, our scout future star, they'll be involved, and hopefully we can get ourselves progression through to the next round. If you enjoyed today's episode, smash the like button as always, and of course subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, to ensure that you don't miss out on any content coming up over the next few days. Videos every single day on the Chesnoid Gaming channel. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Links are in the description down below. But without any further ado, let's go and get ourselves a progression in the cup, and then hopefully 6 points in the league as well. Oh, calm down, Yannick. There's no need for that. He's had the first shot of the game, but it's straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. That was simple enough for us to defend against. Hopefully that is going to be the standard of Crystal Palace's attacking play in this game. You see there the player that was on the ball, Weigl. He's a youngster that I'm starting for the first time in today's game. He's actually 5-star. I'll quickly show you him. He's can play in a variety of different positions, currently 63 rated, hoping to get him and many of the youngsters out on loan in the upcoming January transfer window. Can play on either side of midfield and at cam, and he's 5-star weak foot, 5-star skills. So I'm quite excited about his potential, to be honest, because he could be really, really good for us in the future. So fingers crossed he and players like Madrazo and Guerrero, etc., they get the loan deals that we're hoping to get them in the upcoming January transfer window, so that they can get regular first team football and really start to fulfill those potentials, because they're going to be very important players when we get another season or so down the line. It's a good cross. Oh, it's a good header as well. I don't quite know how Angelo Ogbonna hasn't won that, but Mambaram Diouf, formerly of Stoke, now of Crystal Palace, obviously in this save, scores the goal to put Palace in front. They said before the game that he would be the main threat, scored 2 goals in his last game, and how Ogbonna hasn't won that header is beyond me. You want the defender to attack the ball, and he's just, I don't know, he almost tried to head it that way himself. Look, it looks as if the way Ogbonna's body was angled, looks as if he was trying to head it into the top corner as well. Never mind, Mambaram Diouf makes it Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 0. We're going to have to come from behind in this Capital One Cup quarter-final. Down the line to Suarez, ball's coming in. Can Ogbonna win that header? This one he did, and he headed it out for a corner. Why couldn't you have won the previous one, Angelo? That would have been nice, wouldn't it, if you could have stopped them from scoring, but never mind. Maybe we can stop them from scoring here as well. Shamak with the header. Great reaction save from Archibald Henville. It seems the side with a number of youth players in it isn't necessarily up to scratch right now for what appears to be a full-strength Crystal Palace team. Oh, it's a loose touch from Joel Ward, and Antonio dances in the box here. We'll go for the finesse shot. It's well blocked by Joe Ledley. Drops only as far as Poyet. He'll have the effort. Good save by Julian Speroni. Our first chance, first clear-cut opportunity of the game. Obiang into Weigl. Try something there. That's a nice turn. We'll try the shot from the edge. It's deflected and out for a corner. Nice turn by Weigl there. I was expecting perhaps a little bit more close control considering the 5-star skills. But he's got 5-star skills, but not that very high a dribbling stat. But what a leap from Angelo Ogbonna. He's made up for the goal that we gave away at the other end. That was a fantastic header. Brilliant stuff. Look how high he got above the defender there. He's on the penalty spot around about now, and he just... he jumps so high. That's ridiculous. He's got so far off the ground, and the header right into the top corner as well. There's nothing Speroni can do about that. We are back on level terms. Time to go and get ourselves a winner in the second half. Byram. Dratz has made the run, so we'll play it into him. He's not the fastest just yet. His physical stats still need to improve somewhat, but we'll stand the cross up, and someone's underneath it. Berahino squeezes it in, but he was offside from the flick on. I paused there because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was like, I just wanted to see what actually transpired, but it was Weigl that won the header, but you can see there how far offside. Actually, no, the offside was from the initial cross in. But if Weigl had flicked that on, surely that was the second phase of play. I didn't skip the replay there, it just cut out. So I'm not entirely too sure what actually happened there, where the offside was. Because unless the flick on actually came from a defender, in which case then the ball in initially would have been the first phase of play. I don't know. Whatever happened, the ball went in the back of the net and it's not counted on the goal tally. That's all we know for sure. So we will have to push on from here and try and get it into the back of the net, so much so that it counts on the score tally. Throw that into Byram. I could get that to Sido actually. His touch, well, initially was good and then it rebounded off his knees, but Antonio could get the turn in here. And we'll try that spin and then the finesse shot, and Michail Antonio may have just put us in the semi-finals of the Capital One Cup with that 100th minute goal. We're in extra time, as you can clearly tell. The turn there just sends both Joe Ward and the second defender, and he put it through the defender's legs there, did he, with the finish? See from the replay, through Joe Ledley's legs, yes, into the top corner. Michail Antonio, absolutely fantastic finish. West Ham 2, Palace 1. Sacco, dinks that over to Shamak, who's onside, saved by Archibald Henville, not once but twice. Wow. That was crucial, absolutely vital, those two saves. I thought for a minute the game had bullshitted me and the rebound had gone straight back to Shamak, but Archibald Henville was determined not to concede a second goal. Back on his feet immediately and there for the secondary effort. That was a huge, huge save in the picture of this tie. Play this through. It's Guerrero, the centre-back, that I've moved to centre-mid because he can play there apparently. And Sido Berahino to finish things off. No, it's dropped to Nathan Redmond. He'll finish things off. We thought the rebound was going to go their way at the other end. It didn't. Well, it did, and the keeper made a stunning second save. But this time around, the rebound did go my way. Guerrero into Berahino. Shot all right towards the corner. Good save, but technique from Redmond was brilliant to keep it low. Drills it into the back of the net. 3-1 West Ham. We are definitely going through to the semis of the Capital One Cup. Final whistle has gone. Our cup run continues. We're through to the semi-finals thanks to the 101st minute. I think it went down as goal from Michail Antonio, and then the 112th minute goal from Nathan Redmond in extra time. Fantastic stuff. We will definitely take that through to the next round. Not the most comfortable of games at all, but pleased to come away with a big win. Manchester City also get a big win. I hope we don't play them in the semi-finals. It hasn't been drawn yet, but it will be either Newcastle, Cardiff, City or us that win the Capital One Cup. I'd rather probably Cardiff or Newcastle, to be honest. Although maybe we'll get a good test run for if it is either of those two sides, because they are our next two opponents in the Barclays Premier League. I may, because we had extra time in that game and there was a lot of action, I was going to do 3 games today and 2 tomorrow and then do some transfer talk. I may do 2 today and then have some transfer talk, and then that would maybe give me a little bit extra time with another video tomorrow leading up to the transfer window to get more feedback for the transfer window. So we'll do that. I'll play this second game against Cardiff and then we'll have a look at the shortlist and the squad and see where you guys think and where I think we need to improve. Sadi across to Adam Lafondra, back out wide towards Fabio, rushing forward from left back. They apparently have the worst defensive record in the league, Cardiff City, and we have the best. So you already know what that means. We're probably going to end up losing 3-0. We'll see how things go. Lanzini up against Fabio. Can we get past him? There's 2 defenders here with Lanzini, but he's done one. Smeda can make me run. I've asked him to. And we might use it as a decoy run and then get an early crossing, which we have done. It's towards the back post. Barkley's there. What a gorgeous cross from Manuel Lanzini. Could he have placed that any better? Over the top of the goalkeeper, so he had no chance of getting on the end of it. And Barkley read it perfectly. It gets round the back, and it's just there at the last minute to nod in. That cross, that is one of the best crosses I think I've ever put in FIFA 16. Fantastic ball in from Lanzini, and the way Barkley read it and was positioned perfectly is exactly why he's earned his first team spot ahead of Dimitri Payet in the past couple of videos. 2 goals for him so far in the Barclays Premier League this season, but the way he's playing right now, that's definitely going to be more soon. Here comes Pilkington down the right. Oh, it's a good cross. It's a great cross! Adam Lafondra, what a miss. We thought they were going to put in a perfect cross as well, and Lafondra inches away from what would have been a phenomenal equaliser. 2 pinpoint perfect crosses so far. The only good thing in our favour is that ours ended up in a goal and theirs went about 3 inches over the top of the bar. Great technique from Lafondra, just couldn't keep it down. Sané to Jefferson. Get it back to Sané. Inside to Noble. Space there for Semedo. Get it through the gap to Barkley. No, to Ben Yedder instead. All right, fair enough. It was meant for Barkley, but Ben Yedder's in space. Ben Yedder has the shot. Ben Yedder scores. 2-0 West Ham. You can see that they do definitely have the worst worst defensive record in the league because they are just falling apart here. 1 goal early on, and the defenders cannot cope with this. Nobody closes him down. There's no wonder they've conceded almost 30 goals this season. In fact, that may have been the 30th. I think it said we've conceded like 6 and they've conceded 28. Or it might have been us 8 and them 26. Either or, they've conceded either nearly or now definitely 30 goals so far this season, Cardiff. This could be any number if things continue this way. Wilkinson quickly to Ganso. Ganso down the line. That's a great cross in. Brilliant reaction save from Alisson. Otherwise, Adam Lafondra would have made that 2-1 there. And another block from Riedewald from the result from the follow-up effort as well. Wow, that was close. We could even catch them on the counter and make it 3-0. Surely not. After they come close to making it 2-1 twice at one end, Lanzini is going to win us a penalty and we are probably going to make it 3-0. Cardiff just cannot cope with us right now. Clearly they're not cut out for the BPL. I don't know where they are in the league, but Lanzini, clear penalty. Awful challenge from the defender, Kwele Manga. I don't know where they are in the league. We'll probably check after this. But Lanzini won it. It's only fair that he takes it. I normally try and do that for a player. If they win a penalty, they can take it, especially when we're already 2-0 up. We'll go top left to make it 3-0. 3-0 West Ham. This has been a very simple opening first half. Can we make it 4, 5, 6 in the second half? They've gone long. Riedewald knocks it down. Semedo will get rid. Noble with a turn. Barkley's there. Quickly to Ben Yedder and then dink it so that Sané can run onto it into space. Knocks it down in his stride well. Can we find Barkley in the box? No. Pilkington with a good block on it. And now Cardiff come on the counter. The second half hasn't really offered anything to this point, to be honest. The first half was chance after chance and goal after goal. And in this second half, Cardiff have been pretty solid, in fairness. They've kept me out well in the second 45, and they haven't created much. As soon as I say that, they come very close to scoring. Alisson with a good save. I'm making some substitutions now, taking off my front two of Barkley and Ben Yedder for Zarate and Payet. And I don't know whether Cardiff have made any changes, but with 12 minutes to go, that was probably, I think, the first chance of the second half, and Alisson has to make another save to stop them from scoring again. Noon with the opportunity. He's come on for Pilkington, fresh on the pitch. Get this away, please. Alisson with the one-handed Superman punch, and now Payet can come away with it. And there's so much space for Zarate to run into, we might be in for a third on the counter-attack again. If I can beat the defender, which we have done with Zarate, but there's so many other defenders here, we'll get it across to Dimitri Payet. The two substitutes link up again, and we have made it 4. Apparently they're extremely susceptible to counter-attacks, Cardiff City. I mentioned at the beginning of this highlight that nothing had happened in the second half, and in this exact highlight, 2 chances for Cardiff and another goal for us. 4-0. Noon just let that hit him on the foot. We could get a 5th before the end of the game. Payet is in behind, but where do we go here? I'm going to have to cut back. Oh, Payet could try and finish that in the bottom corner. Deflected for a corner. The final chance of the game then to come from the corner spot. Could give it to Sané there on the edge, but I'm not going to. Lanzini will cross it in. Noble goes up for the header. It's going to reach Lanzini. Now we'll give it to Sané, who's in a decent position. Couldn't really get it onto his left foot. We'll have the shot, and Marshall claims the simple ball through the air, but that surely is going to be full time in any moment now. And there it is. I was going to shoot with Payet anyway from distance. A 4-0 win at home against Cardiff City to go hand in hand with our 3-1 win against Crystal Palace in the Capital One Cup. 4 goals in both games, 7 of them to us. Fantastic 2 results, and we'll jump back now and I'll run you through what my plans are for the January transfer window. Right, so it's Christmas Eve, and we've got the game against Newcastle next, which will obviously be in tomorrow's episode. But the scenario we find ourselves in right now, with regards the squad, is that I want to move on in Bula again. It was a gamble that didn't pay off, unfortunately, so we'll be probably trying to move on in Bula in this upcoming window. Also, could potentially sell on either or both of Winston Reid and Angelo Ogbonna to bring in a younger centre-back, because we have Guerrero and Reed, Evalden and Titty, so I only really need 4. We've got 5 currently, so we could maybe sell on Reed and Ogbonna for a player that is in my shortlist, and I'll show you in a moment. I was planning on selling Zarate to replace at striker, but I think Berahino has been another, similar to Mbula, just a gamble that hasn't paid off. He's got 89 finishing, but the amount of one-on-ones that he just straight up doesn't hit the target with is just ridiculous. I haven't really gotten on with him. That's why he hasn't played too much for me. You'll have noticed that. Also, you can notice here just how many youngsters we have right now. I've called up the majority, if not all, of the kids from the youth squad that I think will definitely benefit from loan spells now. We've got Ellis Wright-Phillips, who's a goalkeeper that I could call up, but we've got Archibald Henville, and we don't necessarily need another goalkeeper right now, but he's waiting here in the wings should we need to bring another goalkeeper up. We also have other 15-year-old guys that could potentially get into the 90s or late 80s, so they're waiting to be called up to the first team. But let's go into the sell players tab, because if I sort by overall, you can see a lot of these youngsters are listed for loan, and I'm hoping that they can go out on loan in this upcoming January transfer window, because we've a lot of players here that we could potentially send out, and I want to send them out as best I can so that they can get as much first team football as possible, because you can just see the sheer number of players we have here that are, you know, showing great potential. You can see the guys that are 20, Parfit Williams and Noyle and Borg, 19. They're actually going to be, you know, sold. I'm trying to sell Borg because we have better youngsters that can come through that are going to grow even more. So it seems pointless to keep those other youngsters, the real life youngsters, the non-regen youngsters. It seems pointless to keep them here needlessly because they're just not going to play. But this is what our budget looks like right now. £15 million with £96,000 in the wage budget after I'd altered it slightly. We got 8.8 million for getting through in the Champions League, and the next rounds in all the cup competitions have been drawn. We just played Cardiff and got a 4-0 win against them, and they are who we play in the Capital One Cup semi-finals. So we probably should get through to the final of the Capital One Cup. If we don't, then I'll be particularly disappointed. We have Leicester in the FA Cup in the third round for our first involvement in that competition this season. That's on the 1st of January, so very busy Christmas period with games on Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, then on the 28th, and again on New Year's Day, as well as a game on the 4th and then 8th, so it's particularly busy there. And the next round of the Champions League has been drawn. Round of 16, we have Barcelona, so things can't get too much harder than how they are right now in the Champions League. With regards to the league situation, we're back up into 4th, thanks to our victory over Cardiff. Cardiff are rock bottom of the table so far, so they're not doing too well. Liverpool are up into 15th. Chelsea down in 12th. Not sure what that's all about, but pleased with how our season's going so far. Still only the 2 defeats, by far the best defensive record in the Barclays Premier League, and we have picked up our goal scoring recently as well, which is also very, very pleasing. We are looking to improve at striker, and my main target is Cedric Bakambu. We looked at him in the summer window. We couldn't get a scout report back quick enough. We weren't sure whether he'd had his upgrade already or not. So we went for Berahino. Berahino hasn't worked out. Turns out Bakambu's upgrade has been in effect, so I will be going for Bakambu in this window. If that doesn't come off, then I'll probably go for someone like Chicharito instead, someone else that we know is a guaranteed goal scorer in career mode and at this level. Looking for replacements for Winston Reid / Ogbonna / both is this youngster, Jesus Vallejo from Real Madrid. He's 79 rated at 19 years of age. He's going to be phenomenal in career mode. So if I have to move on just one, I'll make it Ogbonna, as Winston Reid has been at West Ham longer term. But I could potentially sell both Winston Reid and Ogbonna, bring in Vallejo, and we'd have Vallejo, Guerrero, the regen, Reid, Avald, and Umtiti as our 4 centre-backs. I'm going to need your feedback on the centre-back position. Then Mbula, a replacement for him. We've still got Danilo on the list from the summer transfer window. He would be a cheaper option. We also have players like Jeffrey Kondobia, N'Golo Kante, who's very, very good. Daniele Pacelli popped out to me as well as a player that could be pretty decent, as another all-rounder who's very, very good in possession. Only 24 years old. Goretzka stands out as well, obviously. John Joe Shelvey, still at Swansea in this save, because we started the save prior to the January transfer window in real life, where obviously he's moved on to Newcastle, but we know that he could do a job for us in midfield as well. So again, I'm going to need your feedback there. I'm not going to buy players like Tielemans or Dybala or Bril Donald Imbolo or Bazua. I'm not going to buy those go-to youngsters that grow loads that everybody always recommends. I'm just not going to sign those players. I want my signings to be a little bit more unique. I know players like Goretzka aren't as unique, but maybe that would mean that we would go for someone else instead. I just put him on the list because I know that he's a good all-round option that we could use as a backup. But I don't want to go for Tielemans because everybody signs Tielemans. So we're going to try and keep the signings a little bit more unique to this series. But they are my thoughts for this January transfer window. In tomorrow's episode, we'll have 3 games, which will be over the Christmas period: Newcastle, Man City, and Norwich. And then we will be into the January transfer window, and we will take into effect any more suggestions that you guys have in the comment section of today's video and of tomorrow's video for when we get into the transfer window itself. We have 15 million to spend currently, but obviously if we sell on Imbula or use him as make weight for another deal, then let me sort by rating. Then Imbula is worth 9.5 million. Saido Berahino is worth 10 million, so there's plenty of money to spend. So unfortunately, those signings just didn't work out. It happens sometimes in football. Robbie Keane went to Liverpool for 6 months and went back to Tottenham. You've seen other players do it throughout their career as well. Jermaine Defoe was at Tottenham, left Tottenham, went back to Tottenham, etc. Pretty sure that's what Defoe did anyway. With Portsmouth, I can't remember actually, but there are a handful of players that kind of just had failed moves, and unfortunately for Berahino and for Imbula, they just haven't worked out here at West Ham. Nicely timed as well for Reece Oxford. He is now back in full-time training, so hopefully that little plaster will disappear after this Newcastle game, and he'll be able to be back in the starting fray as well. So things are looking good for us in this series so far. We're in the semi-finals of the Capital One Cup. We've got Leicester, which isn't a ridiculously difficult draw for the FA Cup. Champions League's pretty hard. Barcelona on Legendary, but we'll see how we get on. And in the BPL, we're sat 4th, almost exactly halfway through the season. So that's going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, of course, and subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Give me all of your feedback in the comments section down below, and I will see you